Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Play Magnus Group competition. We are celebrating the Women's Day, and we're hosting a fantastic event with a lot of great women chess players. And I'm really happy to be joined by Raluca. How are you, Raluca?
Hi, Pepe. Nice to see you. Long time no see, huh? How are you doing?
Everything's fine. Really happy to be here in this event. And we have a lot of teams. In this event, we have 7 teams from our group, from coaches, from Chess24, from Play Magnus, etc. So let me tell you what kind of teams we have in this event. We got coaches 1, Chessable 2, coaches 2, Chessable 1, Chess24 Spain, Chess24, and Chess24 French. So due to some technical problems, we have started some minutes later, but now we are ready to enjoy the action, right, Raluca?
Yes, we are. Well, I'm just changing my cameras here because I think I have a slight problem. I think everything is fine for now, but I'm still fixing something here. So let's take a quick look at the games while we
Yeah, I think the games are already finished in this first round. So, Karina,
so how are you doing? How's our team? I'm going for team coaches, so please tell me.
Good. Team coaches in the first round. Let me see what they did. For example, coaches 1, they won against Chessable 1. For example, this game, Karina won against Lami.
Alina.
So, yeah, Karina beat Alina. So
yeah.
Pretty similar names. So let's see what happened actually in this game. It was a King's Indian, the fianchetto variation with rook e8, e4, e5, h3, takes. This is all theory, right? So black puts pressure on e4, a5 just intending to stop b4 from white, right? So you guarantee this spot for the knight on c5. And she went for b3, pretty natural move, trying to develop the bishop. Bishop e2, queen c8, targeting h3, and a4. Well, this allows b4, but nice intermediate move from Alina. Well, a3 was possible here, attacking the bishop. But okay, knight e6, knight c2, prophylaxis against the a3, and knight g5, attacking h3 here. So h4 was played, and knight g4 check, king g1, a3. Well, now the thing is there is pressure against this knight on c3, but of course black shouldn't forget about this knight on g5, right?
Yes, I'm right with you.
Okay, so takes, bishop c3, and we get this position where actually white is much better due to the bishop pair. Look at this bishop, Raluca. This is a fantastic monster on this diagonal. It has no opposition on the dark squares, and white can't play something like bishop b2 and queen c3 at some point, and black can have a lot of troubles actually in the g7 square.
Yeah, I think that bishop is something that black is missing all the time there. Yeah, the terrible King's Indian bishop. Where are you?
That's right. So f4 was played, h5. Now she just goes for this diagonal, and black is in real trouble. I'm a little bit worried about the second round because it may have started. So we're just jumping right there. So let me see. I don't want to miss any of the action in round number 2. So let's go. Sabina Foysor, right?
Yes.
A fantastic player from the United States.
Well, Romanian, please. She's playing for the United States, but please.
That's right.
She's from Romania. She was actually one of my greatest, fiercest enemies when I was a kid. We were always playing together.
Okay.
Championship after championship until she decided to switch to the US when she turned 20. Okay. And she became US champion, a few years ago.
Right.
Very strong player.
Yeah, so now she's facing Diana Mirza, right?
Yeah.
And, well, they reached this position where black has some problems in the structure. For example, e6 could be a weakness at some point. So rook e1 looks natural here to put pressure on e6.
And I think what she's trying to get e5 with what she's playing, right? So at some point, I think at some point she's trying to get e5, maybe.
Yeah, right. That's right. But I think white has extremely great control on the e5 square, so it's going to be tough for black to play e5 here in this position. But let's see what happens. Right.
I was thinking maybe something like taking on d4 at some point.
Yeah, you can take on d4. That's interesting, because then if white recaptures with the knight, then your e5 idea becomes a possibility, right?
Yeah. Okay, and now.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I was looking at even at c4 maybe now. Maybe we can get. Oh, that's a pawn there.
Well, that's a pawn for free, but now black should be really careful with discovered moves. For example, knight e5 or knight d4. That's right, but I think black can just retreat the queen. And e6 is not suffering at all. So I think batch potato is much better. It's much worse, sorry, in this position. It's just a clean pawn down. So
it seems, yeah. Queen safe on h6. What else do we have, Pepe?
Well, let's. You mean another game?
Shall we?
All right, let's take a look.
Maybe this one's quite.
Yeah, it's quite decided already, right?
I think black is doing well now. I think Sabina will bring home the full point. She's also ahead of in time.
Yeah, queen f4 looks winning already in this position, because you have to go king g1, and then the king is gonna have to go out. All right, let's jump into another game. We got Alina versus Maria Meri. She's a psychologist from Spain. She's a strong player as well. And yeah, she's suffering a big attack here on the king side, right? h4, h5, trying to open up the h file here. And actually, I think it's just a rook down. So, Maria.
Oh yeah, we have to count the pieces first.
Right. Yeah.
We were looking at just the attack, but.
Yeah. Now, for example, knight g5 is completely winning. Yeah. This is a very weak square, really nice. Trying to fork the queen and the king.
Finds it. Alina is a very tactical player, so I'm not surprised that she finds these things so fast.
Yeah, bishop d7. Maria tries to cover, but I mean, rook a7, and she can resign already in this position. So maybe let's go back to Sabina's game. Look at this king on d2.
Oh, king hand.
What's going on there? Yeah, so we'd love to say hello to everybody out there in the chat, people in the Chess24 chat, Zoras, Quittert, and people out there in the YouTube channel, Mihail, Shivan. We'll have special guests today at 9 p.m. Judit Polgar, the best women chess player in history, will be joining the broadcast to answer some interesting questions. And also Juga, famous singer from Chile, right?
From Chile, yeah. And all the players have prepared questions for Judit, so we are excited to hear them all and get some insight from Judit. Very excited to have her here later. Right,
I agree. I have a funny story with Judit. You know, I met her in Tunisia, like in a tournament last year, actually, so at the Jerva Masters. And, you know, I was given the task to decide the outcome of her games in a simultaneous exhibition, because the event had to finish. And there was no more time. And then I was given the task to decide if she wins, if she draws, or she loses. So I was, you know, very afraid. But she's very nice. She's very friendly.
Yes, I have only seen her commentating, and I think I look up to her. I've been looking up to her since I was a kid. I remember that I saw her for the first time when I played, I think, the first European Championship that I ever played in Austria, and she gave a simul back then. Okay. And I remember that, well, she couldn't play against everybody. So what they did is the people who were leading the tournament got to play against her. So I was just cheering because Alina, she was leading the tournament, Alina Lamy, and she did get to play a game against her. And we were all behind Alina and trying to get a picture with Judit.
I can imagine. She's a great inspiration for everybody, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and this pawn on b2 is also a great inspiration, because black is gonna make a queen very soon, a3, a2, and then this king stops the f pawn pretty easily, and white can resign already. Superwoman.
And
this
who is Superwoman?
Well, Mariela is playing for the Spanish team here, and Superwoman is Kidman, a woman FIDE master from the Chessable 1 team.
Yes.
Okay,
so and she already won the game, yeah?
Yeah, so
Black won.
So I think there are not so many games left in this round. So, for example, Gavi Ro versus LCB. And
what do we have here? Another king hand.
Another king hand. That's right. King H2. I still don't see how to checkmate here.
How about Rook G1? Yeah, that one. That Rook G1.
For example, Rook G2, Bishop F5, followed by Rook H1. This looks like checkmate, right?
It does look like checkmate, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and she only has 5 seconds, but I think she'll find everything here. Is there a way for white to stop?
No, there's no way. I think she could have tried Rook B8 to go for checkmate, but it was not enough.
Maybe just Bishop F5, yeah?
Yeah.
And checkmate on G2.
Right, so we have finished the second round. Let me just see the standings right here. So Chess24 Spain is winning. Is in the first position, and Coaches number 2 is in the second position.
Okay, so we are still there.
Yeah, you're still there. You're still there. You're still fighting for the title, but a lot of rounds left.
A lot of rounds left. 7 rounds in total.
Yeah, 7 rounds in total. So let's just try to focus in one game. I think it's best when we are trying to commentate 3 minutes games, right? Because it's pretty tough to follow more than one.
Yeah.
And tell me, Bunny, we have our producer here. What's going on? Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay, guys.
We will be right back.
We'll be right back in 2 seconds.
Solving a little technical issue here.
All right, so we are back, guys, for the third round, and there's an interesting game between Jesse Pepe and Alina Lamy. So let's just try to follow this. Coaches 2 versus Chessable 1.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. Oh, and this is the team where Sophie's also playing. You guys might know Sophie, my student.
How is she doing? She's learning?
She is learning. She's learning a lot, yes. She's getting better every day.
Okay.
She can't wait to play a real tournament, not just online.
Okay, so we have Sicilian, an open Sicilian with F3, one of the most solid approaches. And Bishop E6, Knight C3, white controls the D5 square. And it could be possible for black to strike with D5 already, I think. So, I don't know. Bishop E3, now D5 looks very natural here, because this is a backward pawn, right? It's a weakness, and then you want to open up the position, right?
And D5 is black's idea in this position always, no?
Right, right. So, I mean, you can also try to play Knight B6 now, which is also reinforcing D5, and then Knight C. The C4 square is really tasty for black here, but she decided to go for A5. I'm not so sure about this move, because after A4, Knight B5 could be an idea, and D6 could be suffering in the following moves, right?
Can we still play D5 maybe? Oh, because now something like...
I think now if you go for D5, yeah, for example, after long castle or short castle D5, white could take on B6 and then take on D5. But, I mean, short castle was not that great because there's a check.
That came with check, yeah. That was I was hoping for. But, Okay, so what is going on here? Like, we got a typical position now.
Yeah, I think black is completely fine because black has the bishop pair. So what else do we want in life, right? We got the
We
bishop
always
pair.
like the bishop pair, yeah?
Right. We
What
got
do you
an open
prefer,
position.
Pepe? Bishop pair or knights? What do you
Usually
go for?
bishop pair, but if the position is closed, of course, I'll take the knights. Yeah. So it depends on the position.
Ambiguous. You're not going for a full answer there, huh?
Of course, there are not any written rules in chess. Everything depends on the position, right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, but
so what do we do now? Bishop c6. We have to get out of there, right? I want to keep the bishop.
Yeah, after bishop c6, I really like bishop
c5. Yeah.
Right. So this is
maybe
why
it's best to double the pawns there.
Double the pawns, but white is more active in this position, and a5 could be a weakness at some point. It's true that the bishop is protecting it right now, but looks like a draw actually.
It does look like a draw, yeah.
Yeah, bishop c5 check, but you know this is splits and everything can happen, of course.
Okay, but Jessie's ahead in time now. She has a full 30 seconds ahead.
Right. So bishop e3, bishop e4. I think Jess is happy with the draw.
Yeah, this should be a draw anyway.
She's a lower rated player, so I'm pretty sure that Alina will go for the win. Let's see. Yeah, rook c8.
Okay.
But now you can take on c5, rook d7.
And rook d7.
And white is more active. b7 is under attack. The rook on c5 has to protect e5. And
what's going on now? Is white winning a pawn here? How about, no, we're not winning any pawn, but I was thinking rook b7. That's not...
Rook b7, I agree. But now black can also try to activate the rooks. For example, rook d8 followed by rook c2, then giving some pressure to the king before going rook d2 and double rooks on the 7th rack. But okay, this looks like a pawn up for white, right?
Okay.
So white has to be very careful because after h6 or something like this, rook c2 could be, or rook c1 is actually mate. So now it's clear that rook c2 is not possible because of mate on e8. So that's why she goes for g6. And now rook c2 is actually winning here. Rook b5 was a clear mistake. Still.
I'm going to... I need to fix a few things here because still it looks like not everything is going as planned. So.
Okay, one second.
Fixing some.
Yeah, fixing the names. And yeah, rook f2. Okay, now in the next break, I'll try to fix a small thing. Rook f3, I mean, these three passers should be decisive in this position. And also the white king is weaker, as you can see. It's not protected by any pawn.
Oh.
h5, a5. This is a race. Let's see who arrives first in this position. It's not so clear because this guy is also running, yeah, like Usain Bolt.
They do, yeah. Okay, that's what I was going to say. If rook b3, maybe white can play rook a1 and try to fight with that pawn.
I believe this is, I don't know what's going on here actually, because if you, the only way to force black to capture on a7 is to bring the king. And if you bring the king, these pawns are extremely fast. But my question is, what happens if white just remains with the king on the king side?
Yeah, or on g5. Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
Right, so king f7. I think Jessie managed to
king g6. That's a draw now.
Yeah, this is a dead draw. She just takes an a6 and
king h4. So it did end in a draw in the end.
Right. So let me just put another game. So Sylvia, I'm gonna be shut up for 10 seconds. So I'll try to fix something. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. So what do we have here? Kind of an equal position. The black king is very active, and black also has a passed pawn. Oh, that was an important pawn. What just happened there? Okay, b4. Okay, and that pawn is going to run. Is black winning now? Oh, but b2 and rook h1 was very interesting. So now we have to go after the h pawn. Oof, h7, and white is suddenly winning. Is that Yes, white did win this game. Very interesting game here. I don't know really what was happening because everything went so fast, but it did look at some point that black had some chances with the b pawn, but something went wrong at some point, and the h pawn finally became a queen. The brave h pawn.
Okay, awesome. 1 second. 1 second, and I think Bane, we can go for the waiting layout. So we're back in half a minute for the next round. Dale, dale.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back in the fourth round, and what game do you wanna take a look, Raluca?
Well, this one seems very interesting over here. Alina's game.
Okay, Alina.
What's going on?
Versus Matoche, which is woman FIDE master from Chess24 French. So let's take a look here. This is one interesting line in the Grunfeld with bishop d2, and we have reached this position where usually white intends to attack because there is no fianchetto bishop here on g7 protecting the king. So that's why it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, to stop to open the h file. But black has stopped that by playing h5.
Yeah, but maybe now we can use the g5 square at some point. Can we? Knight g5 in this position.
Knight g5. Like this is one of the drawbacks for black after having played h5, right? So the
knight maybe then we can go with the f pawn. I know the f pawn.
Right.
Is a great friend of yours.
Yeah, Facundo, yeah. But Alina, what she did is actually quite interesting. So she just protects e4, and now she can reinforce the center with c4 because the queen is not on d2.
Ah, so she wants to play for e5 then.
Yeah, c4, e5. This looks extremely strong, and black doesn't have any time to play knight d7 and knight e5 because after knight d7, e5, this looks very strong.
Yes, it does. And I think she gets active very fast. Where is the knight going? Yeah, g4 looked quite scary because bishop g4 loses some material.
That's right. And now e6, basically, you are ruining black pawn structure on the king side, because now if you take on e6, there is queen takes e6, and you're not only attacking e7, but after bishop e4, g6 could be a serious problem for black, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like Alina is in full control here. Yeah, knight f6 looked like an idea here, but I guess she'll just do the same. Maybe put a queen on e6 and go ahead for rook e1. Oh, okay, queen c7. Interesting.
Queen c7, trying to protect e7, rook f e1, and after king f7, queen e6 again is a problem. But still not so clear, yeah, how to penetrate in black's position. It's much better for white, but
black is defending. She's defending very well here.
Yeah, queen rook f8. Now intending just to capture.
Maybe we can bring a rook to g5. What do you think, Pepe?
Sorry?
Do we like a rook on g5 here with white?
I love a rook on g5. Yeah, rook e5 and rook g5 followed by queen f5.
Oh, queen f5 also. I was hoping for bishop e4, but yeah. Okay, so now it looks like white is getting kicked out of there. But I guess her idea is to put a queen on g5. Yes, she wants to play queen g5 next. Can black still defend everything?
f3.
Yeah, that's meant against queen g4, because on queen g5, queen g4 was probably black's idea. And what if we go queen to g5 or g3? Move the knight and defend.
Yeah, I guess you gotta move the knight to h7, because now you protect the g6 pawn. With the rook on b6 is doing a fantastic job protecting g6. It's not gonna be clear at all how to proceed.
I still want a rook on g5, Pepe. Yeah, there she goes. I think she was just looking for a way to improve this position, and now I think rook e5 is coming.
Yeah, rook e5, and you can even rook e5.
Take on h5. There it goes.
You can take on h5, you can double rooks, you can play rook g5. This looks like a disaster for black, right?
Yes.
Rook g5.
And she goes for the g-pawn, yes. She wants mate. She's not joking here.
Knight f5 is not working because of bishop f5, and then you are forced to capture with the rook, and g6 hangs.
And that's probably just checkmate over there after rook g8 and queen g6.
Looks like check, because
the other rook,
Wow, this is a very dangerous idea. Rook g8, okay. She wants
rook e6
queen
was
g6.
also quite nice, right? Rook e6 now.
Wow, she allowed.
G3. I forgot. She also forgot maybe about the queen.
This still should be winning for white, because you have so many pawns up, right? You got like 2 pawns up.
Only 2.
Only 2 on the king's endgame, of course, completely winning, because you got these 2 passers here. And they're protected, and not just bring the king. And
f4 makes, and fix the pawns over there. And I guess the pawn is that the king is in the pawns.
Yeah,
square
it's in the square, right? So now king d2 just stops the c pawn, and now this is.
And there's another passer on the b file.
All right, guys. So Alina gets the point for chessable 1. And this is 2-1 for chessable. And now let's just try to see what happens in the last game of this match.
Okay, what else do we have?
What else? Well, I mean, it was 2-2 at the end. Yeah, so this is finished. Let's check the standings, okay?
Yeah, I was going to ask about the standings. How are we doing, Pepe?
So chess24 is leading, followed by
chess24. That's a good question.
The general chess24. So
okay.
There is a chess24 Spain, chess24 France, and a general chess24 who is leading. Coaches number 2 is the second, and chess24 Spain the third. So I believe for this next round we should check one of the leaders' games, right? Chess24. So
of course, who's playing next? I would like to know which teams. Do they face each other?
Well, we have Chess 24 versus Chess 24 France. And we got Coaches 1 versus Coaches 2. And Chessable 2 versus Chessable 1. So they're all paired between companies, right?
Yep.
So let's see who is the leader in each company. I would love to follow, for example, Florencia Fernandez versus Delorme, two women international masters. Florencia is our main commentator in Portuguese. And very strong player from Argentina. And let me just try to find this game. This is the game. Florencia with the black pieces.
Yep.
And
we're still waiting for them to start.
Right. This is too fast, right?
This is very fast.
We don't have even 2 seconds to breathe, right?
I think now we get some time to breathe because it looks like they're also getting a small break. What round is this, Pepe? 4? Number 4? Number 5 already?
This is round number 5.
Number 5 already.
Number 5 out of 7, right? And as you guys know, in 20 minutes, we'll have Judit Polgar and Juga, yeah, to celebrate this Women's International Day. Nowadays, with the pandemic, people cannot go out to the streets to celebrate equality and the Women's Day. But this is why we're doing this fantastic online events, right? Gathering a lot of strong chess players, coaches, teachers, engineers, psychologists. We have everything in this tournament, yeah?
Yep, from all around the world.
That's right. So how are you guys doing in the chat? Do you have any questions? What's going on? We got
only heard of one of these women. Oh, but we have so many strong women players over here. We have Alina Lamy, international master, famous photographer, working for Chessable now.
I've seen her pics and they're quite amazing.
They are, yes.
Yeah. Are you also a photographer or not?
I was when there wasn't a pandemic, Pepe.
Okay. Yeah, actually, for example, in the Olympiad, you were taking some pictures, right?
I was, yes, yeah. I was taking pictures in Batumi, yeah.
That's right.
You can start your games.
Okay, so D4 was played, and then let's see what Florencia plays. C4, knight F6. Florencia likes the King's Indian, so I was pretty sure she was going to go for this. Bishop G7, E4 is the main line, right? Occupying the center. This is an hyper-modern. Yeah, this is an hyper-modern opening, right? Because black concedes the center, but then he is going to strike in the center with E5 or C5.
Right, yeah. Going to give that bishop on G7 life.
Right. So D5, this makes a lot of sense. And now black's idea in many occasions is to strike with F5, trying to start an attack against the white king, right?
Yep. But she plays C6 here.
Yes, this is a different plan. Now, the C5 square is, of course, very tasty for one of the black's knights. For example, knight D7 or knight A6, followed by knight C5. And I believe that, yeah, A5, as you say, to stop B4, right?
Yeah, pretty normal so far, I think.
Yeah, and then black could also try to push B5 at some point with some bishop D7, queen E8, and of course, the main plan, F5 at some point. But to play F5, you have to remove the knight from F6.
Probably knight E8 can still be played over here and play for F5, but she goes for A5. Yeah, knight to C5 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if you go for knight C5 straight away, then B4 could be very, very dangerous in this position. Okay, knight B5, knight C5, D6 is now protected. And knight E to C3, protecting E4. This was...
Yeah, that was hanging.
It was very important, right?
So now my question is, can we... Bishop D7 loses the pawn on D6, but is that knight coming out?
I believe it's coming out because you got the C4 square, for example. And also the B5 square, I believe, because the
but I was hoping to take it on B5 and then win the pawn on E4.
Ah, okay, that was a very interesting idea.
But she makes it better, improves queen D6 to D10 and.
Yeah, because I think if you allow, I think it was not working. But okay, queen b6.
And now bishop b7 wants to win the pawn on e4.
Right.
And the knight on b5, of course.
Yeah, so I guess white at some point has to reinforce this knight by playing a4. She didn't. She went for knight a3. The idea is pretty clear now.
Knight to c4 is also typical here. Yeah, bring the knight to c4 can also be played.
I really like the queen on a6 once you play knight c4, because the queen on a6 still protects d6 and also prepares b5, right?
b5, yeah. And she goes bishop g4. Okay, because f3 is not something that white can play here.
Right. Some nasty discover moves on this diagonal, right?
Yeah.
With the queen on b6. So queen e1 has been played, now reinforcing e4. Now white is ready to kick this bishop by playing a3. You want to play bishop e3 for sure in this position, but then b2 hangs, so that's why you probably need some rook b1 first.
Queen b4 is a move I was considering here. Looks really good, but because knight c4 is not possible, and now e4, yeah.
I'm really scared about the black's queen in this position, because
but can you trap it?
Imagine you play b3, really knight c4, and bishop a3. This is an idea, for example. And I don't know how to proceed with black. I believe rook f4, knight f4 is very interesting here.
And knight d3?
Yeah, because if white takes on f4, then this bishop suddenly becomes a monster, right?
It does. And that's what we want here.
Yeah. So, for example, queen e3. I really like bishop d2 because knight b5 was an idea, trapping the queen again, but she went for queen e3.
I think knight d3 was something that she didn't like.
Yeah, right. Now, if I were black, I would immediately run away with the queen.
You're really scared for the life of that queen.
I'm so scared with this queen. Queen b6, queen c7, queen b8, and then no more problems.
Hide her. Just hide the queen. Really, Pepe, are you going to hide the queen on b8?
That was my idea, yeah.
But still nothing is happening to the queen for now. I'm thinking, okay, now we probably have to get out of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she
c7,
oh, look at that. She's heading to b8.
Yeah, she's going there. And f4 looks very strong now, because if you take, of course, it takes f4 looks very strong. And then if you retreat the queen, I guess you have to go somewhere where you protect g3.
I also like b5. How's b5? Where's the knight going, by the way? To a3. Yeah. No, that was winning a piece. Wasn't that winning a piece? b5 and b4? Probably,
yeah.
It's still there, though.
Yeah, but now white has managed to close the position up, and then knight b5 is just winning now. d6 was under attack. And queen takes e4.
A lot is happening here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I'll still take white here.
I was taking black before, but now I think I like white better, yeah?
Yeah, because look at this bishop. It's a terrible piece, yeah? And there's no attack against the white king. And, okay, she's going for rook c2. She managed to get a nice square for the rook. You got to play rook f2 to protect the 7th rank. And rook c7.
To go back. And this is a position where the bishop pair is useless. We were talking about the bishops, such great pieces, not here.
Right. Wow, she gave us the exchange. Okay. And now suddenly this bishop has a route to be activated, but then white decided to close the position up with g5, which makes a lot of sense. Now this bishop is completely trapped. Wow.
Something went wrong. A pre-move went wrong over there.
We have to remember that the time control is c+0, so there's no increments. Yes. That's why
they have to be really fast.
Right. Okay. So let's see how the games ended in this round. For example, Chessable 2 beat Chessable 1. How can you organize a team like the team number 2 beats the team number 1? This is terrible, yeah.
Okay, so someone's saying that Sophie destroyed her opponent. Who was Sophie playing? Can you quickly take a look at that before they start? I think they have 2 minutes.
Sophie belongs to which team? Sorry,
coach's team. Coaches,
Coaches.
2, I think. Actually.
Coaches 2 drew versus Coaches 1, and Chess 24 beat 3-1 to Chess 24 France. So Sophie, let me see what she did. Yeah, she beat actually Katie.
Okay.
Billy. So it was pretty amazing.
Go, Sophie. You see, you were asking how the training going. Training's going great.
Let me. Yeah, so
Sophie's
Sophie,
also very aggressive. Oh.
Very nice.
Well done,
Very
Sophie.
nice to beat a player like Katie. Yeah, it's not easy.
Not easy, yeah. And she was worried about the time control.
All right, let's go for the last round before we get to interview Judit Polgar and Huga, okay?
Yeah.
And round number 6. So Chess 24 is still in the lead. And Coaches following in position number 2. So let's check, for example, again from Coaches 2 right now in this round. You want to check your student's game?
Yes, please.
Sophie's game?
Let's go.
Okay.
Who is she playing?
So she's facing Laura Collado, who is a Spanish chess player. She works for us
I
as
know
well.
her. I've worked with her.
Let me find that game and just see where you just see. Yeah, yes, he's here. So Sophie is right here.
Okay, you can start the next game. I just put there.
And she's playing black, and she's going for the Benoni. I'm telling you.
Okay. No, okay, nice. Bishop b4, the Nimzo Indian.
Look at that. We've studied this.
Really? Are you kidding me?
We have studied some gambits in the Nimzo.
Okay. So c5, Laura refuses to take on b5. This is a pretty strange decision, right? Bishop b7. And now I believe Laura is gonna force black to take on c3, giving up the bishop pair.
Which always happens in the Nimzo.
Right, right.
We kind of always give up that bishop and hope for the best.
Yeah. This is the only drawback on the Nimzo, yeah? Because otherwise it's just a fantastic opening. Right, right.
Such a solid opening. One of the best openings for black.
Everybody in the elite, they play the Nimzo Indian, so
allegedly.
Short castle from Sophie, e3, a6. Now she defends the b5 pawn.
Not giving up the pawn anymore. Okay. So
Laura gave.
Oh, that's a pawn for Sophie.
She just blundered a pawn. Laura just blundered a pawn. Now she's forced to play rook g1. Now Sophie has to be very careful because bishop g2 is actually winning.
But I think knight c6 is natural in this position. We want to develop.
Right, knight c6 or even queen h5 was good enough. But yeah, she's got an advantage for sure. Now Laura develops and targets
she wants to attack on the king side.
That could be an option of taking on g6 and then rook takes g6 followed by perpetual. But I think you take with the f pawn and then f2 is also under attack.
Yeah, maybe there's ideas. Yeah, bishop c3 was something that I was thinking that Sophie will have to do at some point. It's the bishop. I was scared for his life.
And now the thing is, you go queen h1, you are forced to go back with the bishop since the rook on a1 is just hanging.
Yes.
So Sophie has collected a second pawn.
And now I really like bringing that knight someplace. Can she force a perpetual here? No, rook g3, I go queen h1.
Yeah, and then you escape via e4 or t5, for example. It looks fine for black. e4, wow, you gotta be really brave to open up the position with this king still in the center.
And she goes for f5. Sophie playing a perfect game here. I don't mean to brag, but you know.
Does Sophie has a rating or?
Yes, she's about 1900 rated in classical chess. But I have to tell you that she said that she reached 2200 in blitz, so that's why she's so dangerous.
Okay.
She's been practicing a lot.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 25, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Awesome.
And she's coming to Romania next week. What do you say about that?
Oh, really? So to train with you?
Well, she will be here for a while. They actually travel a lot. She and her boyfriend, they work remotely online.
Okay.
And they like to visit many countries. They've been to Spain. They spend quite something like a month in each country.
Okay.
So now she heard that we were open, mostly open, and she thought it would be nice to sit on a terrace and have a cup of coffee.
Awesome. And a couple of blitz games, yeah?
And a couple of blitz games after she finishes the quarantine. What's happening over there? Oh, Queen F1.
Well, Sophie keeps collecting pawns. Now after Queen C4 check and Queen C5, she's gonna collect another pawn, and this is like 4 pawns up.
But Rook D7. Are we afraid of Rook D7, Pepe?
I think we are. I think we should protect. Wow. Okay. She blundered, but she didn't see. No, the Rook on A8 was hanging. Everything's hanging here. Now there's a fantastic. Look at this variation: Queen G6 followed by Rook H8 and Rook H7.
And she sees it, but she sees it, Pepe.
Yeah.
Sophie, the tactical genius.
Awesome. Now Queen E5 covering H8. There are no more tricks with Queen G6.
And I think she just brings the queen back home, and that's...
Yeah, that's a win probably for black.
That's a win probably, yeah.
Queen F6 and Rook H6. Laura trying to put some tricks in this position, but I think it's not going to happen. Well, now Rook H7 is a threat, so you should protect that pawn. Only 14 seconds for Laura and 40 for Sophie.
Yep. Okay, and this is the last round for them, at least for now.
Yeah. Wow, no, she just blundered the Rook. Sophie blundered the Rook.
The Rook on A8 finally dropped. But she has some... Oh, and she...
But Laura has only 10 seconds. So
I was going to say that. I think Sophie's going to fight for her life here.
Let's see. Laura is on time to collect every single pawn. Now, Rook B4,
no, she's
A4.
Not. No, she's not.
A4, Sophie, A5, pre-move.
Just take all the pawns, Sophie. Come on. Push them. E5. Let's go. Let's get a queen there.
Laura is playing extremely fast, but I think it's not going to be enough.
Oh, look at that pawn flying to A8.
And yeah, she lost some time.
Won.
Yeah,
Sophie won on time. Okay, that was a hard attack. It's not easy to be a coach. Not easy to be watching the games.
That was really intense. And finally, Sophie got the point. So let's see how this ended. Chess 24 Spain, Drew versus Coaches 2. But still some games left. So let's try to see them. For example, Chess 24 versus Chessable. Yeah. Okay, but let me see. All right.
Okay, and now the girls get a break.
Yeah, still some games going on. For example, this between Jennifer and Mathilde Congier from France. This is a very important game, because Chess 24 is beating 2-1 Chessable. So if Jennifer manages to draw this game, they will win the match, and they will have really good options to take the tournament home.
Okay.
And okay, Bishop E4. White is an exchange down, but look at this H5 pawn. If White manages to, knight D5. Knight D5 was a fork, just grabbing the rook. She didn't see that. Knight D5 is winning. Now she sees it. And
this happens in blitz all the time.
Yeah, and I think now Black has got to resign.
Okay, she has the a-pawn.
The a-pawn is not stupid.
But then I don't see 4. Oh.
Well, I don't know. Maybe g7 and bishop f7, only way to win this game. She goes for it. That was a very good move. And now just push the king. That's right. King g4, h5, king f5, king g6.
It's not so easy anymore.
No.
Still 97, and now the bishop's up, and the bishop's going to go to f4. Not sure if, I don't know if b6, was b6 necessary?
I don't know.
Not sure. Maybe white could have stopped that with king f5.
Now you're gonna be careful with the
with the b pawn.
Exactly. Yeah. b4,
no,
for example, here.
I think she has it under control.
Well, let's see. Yeah. Now this is a wow. h7 just wins. h7 was winning
because there was no bishop b2.
Right. And now, of course, this is again a draw. But only 2 seconds for Jenny, yeah? And Matilda is not going to play. Well, yeah, she played b3 in a very good gesture, and and they drew, yeah?
And they made a draw finally, yes.
Okay, guys, so now we arrive to one of the most expected moments, right, of this day,
yes.
Where we'll have Judith and Huga joining the broadcast. And let's see what's going on. Probably in a couple of minutes. Yeah. A ver, Vane. Okay. All right, so, pero should I stop the cam here, Vane? Okay. Okay. Okay, so what do you think about this round, Sylvia? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I did enjoy it, and I think I think they keep us glued to the chair because anything can happen.
That's right.
Anything can happen here.
Let's check the standings, for example, before we interview Judith.
I think we're going to have Hua first.
Okay.
If I got this correctly. And then Judith. Okay, so let us go.
Pero quítame la cámara.
Okay. Just a few moments before we get our special guests with us. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Nice to have you. So we introduced Juga as well. She's a fantastic singer from Chile. She has been creating songs related to chess in the last years, and it's a pleasure to have you here, Juga.
Thank you so much, Pepe, and it's an honor to be sharing with you this International Women's Day with Judith and with all these fantastic ladies, encouraging and inspiring.
Okay. Okay, thanks for joining. So we have the first question for Judith from Marie-Céline from the French section in Chess24. And she asks, nowadays we mainly play online. Which advice would you give in order to improve?
Well, of course, online it's kind of a tricky atmosphere to play. I never had the chance to compete online, and I was not a huge fan on playing online, to be honest. But I was still competing myself in times when it was not so perfect and not so good conditions and so entertaining as now. I think the most important thing should be that you're still focusing on the game and not on the circumstances. But obviously, it must have been very difficult to get used to it, right? That you don't look at your opponent physically, but on the screen, and you don't see the pieces in 3D, but in 2D. But at the same time, I think by now we are so much used to the screen watching chess while preparing that from this point of view, it's not so frightening. But I think chess players generally, they are very good and very resilient and they can adjust themselves very well to the new situations. And this is what the chess world showed also, I think, that while the whole world was under lockdown, we chess players and the chess community, the chess platforms created even better circumstances for the players to compete. Obviously, we shouldn't neglect the problem of the cheating element, but we hope that the players are honest, and also there are, of course, measures which can be taken against the cheating possibilities. But I can always advise everybody that the best thing is to play fair.
Okay, very, very interesting. So second question goes for both of you. And it's actually from Raluca. So Raluca, you may want to ask them.
Yes, this is something that we were all wondering actually, because there's a lot of talk about this concept that women cannot have it all. They cannot have both career and family life. So we actually wanted to ask you two, what do you think about this? What is your take on this?
Juga,
Should
you
I
can
start?
go first.
Okay, I think it depends on each person. I don't think we should put all women in the same bag as well as all men. I think each person is an individual, and I think that certain women are driven to have a career, a successful career, I mean, and at the same time have a family life, a partner, children, and like they can manage to do it at the same time. I think other women are not capable of doing it, or are not even interested in doing it at the same time. I think we should stop saying that all men are stronger than women, or I think it depends on each individual. I really think that, for example, for me, I'm really focused on my career, and I would love to combine both things at the same time. But I've seen many successful women, like in chess and also in music and art, that are capable to manage both worlds. Of course, it's very challenging, but since the motto of these days, choose to challenge, I think women are challenging themselves each day and are capable to do whatever they dream.
Okay, very nice.
Very
so
nice, yeah.
Okay, so we have 8 more questions, but I think we have to present a beautiful song from Juga as well. So why not to go for the video now, and maybe after the video you can tell us something about this new song.
Yes. of course, it's the first song of Chess Divas, and it's dedicated to Vera Menchik. And the lyrics are in Russian. It was a very big challenge for me to sing in Russian because I cannot speak Russian. But the lyrics were written specially for this tribute by Alexandra Kostenyuk. So I'm very honored and happy to collaborate with chess players creating songs, and also this project aims to bring visibility to women chess. So let's enjoy the video and we can talk more about it. Thank you so much.
Okay, so very nice video. I have to tell you, Huga, that you know, I'm a big fan of you. The first time I saw you performing was in Cuba in a Capablanca Memorial. Probably you don't even know about that, but I was there and I really enjoyed. So thanks a lot for everything you're doing for the chess wall. It's pretty amazing.
Thank you, Pepe, but I cannot believe you didn't say hello to me. We would have met.
Because you ran away, you know, you just sang there and then you ran away, you know. I can imagine you're a pretty busy person, so I didn't want to disturb, but it was pretty amazing. And
yes, it was a beautiful experience to sing my Oca Paulanca song and to present my chess songs over there. it's a mythical tournament, and it was very nice because I got to have lunch and befriend Ivan Chuk. So yes, it was it was amazing time for me too.
Okay. So next question goes for Judith. Is there a special game for you, and why?
My game, or?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I have quite a few games I'm very proud of. It's well, one of the most favorite game when I beat Anand in 1999 in Dos Hermanas. No, in Buenos Aires. No, Dos Hermanas was Anand, and then I beat also one of my favorite games against Shirov, which I won in 94 Buenos Aires. So, but I also happy one of my few of my games against Boris Spassky, which I won in 93.
Okay.
Nice. Well, now I have a question for both of you. Maybe you can both answer to this. We were very curious. It's probably very difficult to imagine you in a different field, but if you hadn't been playing chess, what would you have been doing instead?
Well, I would be doing something definitely creative, I think, though it's very difficult for me to say what would I be if I wouldn't be a chess player, as I started when I was very young, when I was 5 years old. But with my mind of today, for sure, I would be happy to do something else, something creative.
And Huga, what would you be doing?
I guess I would love to have been a professional chess player. Because, yes, yes, for sure. But I still train, as I'm training, and I have the will to become stronger in my chess game. But yes, I'm very happy doing this, combining music and chess and art and writing the scripts, and just creating these chess artistic little universes. So it brings me a lot of satisfaction what I'm doing right now.
Okay, we have a lot of comments from our users telling how amazing you both are, and how amazing is the song as well. This is quite nice. And we have now a question for Judith from Lily, right? So Lily,
Yes.
you may want to ask that.
Hi. First of all, thank you so much for joining us today. I mean, it's a pleasure for me, Judith, Huda, really. And well, all the Spanish team wants to know, Judith, what was your thoughts when entering a decisive game? Did it influence if you play with a man or a woman? And if that player had made a comment about female chess or their attitude towards you?
Well, when I was competing a very important game, obviously I had to be even more focused than usual. But at the same time, I wanted to make sure I made my preparation right. So if I did so and I had a good rest, a good sleeping, which I did sleep quite a lot during the tournament, it meant I was balanced emotionally, physically. And that was the most important for me. Of course, it's not all the time that it happened, that it worked out the best way, but at least I knew that I did everything I could. So that was something very important. For me, it did not matter whether I played against ladies or men, though I played very few events. Only in 86, when I was 10, I played under 16 girls. And then later on, the 2 Olympiads, which I won together with my sisters. The only issue was in the ladies tournament that I knew that I was much higher rated players, so I went there to win every game because well, in the second Olympiad already that's what they expected me to do. In the first Olympiad I was not so high in rating points yet, but after a few rounds, as I started to win my games, it was I was focused very much on the games, and but I was a practical player. So when I knew that I'm playing against a lower rated player, or even when my opponent was in time trouble, I was not necessarily making the best move objectively, but I was a real practical player and focusing on the winning the game. So sometimes I made some combinations, some dubious move even, or interesting idea, which I knew that my opponent has not enough time to figure out. And so that's how I played until I was a teenager. Later on, I was more and more focused on finding the best moves, but still, I always considered myself a real practical player, how to win the game.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks
Judith.
a lot. Okay, next question for both of you. This is my question. Who is the most empowering woman you have ever met and why?
That I have met?
Yeah.
Well, I would say Judit Polgar for sure. No, really. I mean, she had always been my idol. You know, the first time I remember that I said hello to her, and it was my birthday. It was in a tournament in Gibraltar in like 2013. And I remember that Judith remembered that it was my birthday. She said, "Today's your birthday, right?" And I said, "Yes, happy birthday to you. Have a great day and a great year." And I felt like blessed for all the year. Now I have the pleasure and the luck to consider her my friend and to have collaborated with her many times. She has supported my music in many occasions, inviting me to the Global Chess Festival. And so, and another many times that we have shared together, and to see her not only as a competitive chess player, but all she has done for chess in education, and all she's doing for the Global Chess Festival and the Chess Connects Us initiative. It's so inspiring, but also to know her human side, all her fair play, her supportive towards other people, and how she is as a mother, as a person. I think it's just so beautiful to see somebody that has reached so high, but is also so down to earth and willing to work so hard still, and challenging herself. And I don't know, it's just Judith, you're really inspiring. I cannot talk about anybody else. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Huga. You're very nice. But I mean, what am I doing here when you're saying so many good things? But
you
I mean,
know,
it's
not
even
International Women's Day, and you're inspiring us, Judith.
not even my mom says those kind of words to me, you know. So how about you, Judith?
Well, actually, I have to say that maybe my mom is the first lady who gave me so much in many ways, and I think the most important what she gave me, apart from obviously she the love she gave, that in some ways the simplicity she was always caring for me and my sisters, being herself all the time, and that's what she taught to me, to be yourself. And I think that's one of the most important thing in feeling good about yourself and being successful. So I think in some ways I should say that she's the lady, because the way the perseverance she has in family, in her beliefs, in the lifelong learning, there are so many important trademarks of her that I think a big part of my success becomes from her.
Okay, very
Impressive.
nice words.
Yes.
I want to say something.
Go
Because,
ahead.
today was the release of the Chess Divas, the first Chess Divas song that is dedicated to Vera Menchik, the first woman world chess champion. You can already watch it. We just watched it, but you can find it also on my YouTube channel or at jugamusica.com. But the point is that this is only the first song. There are many other songs coming, actually. There are 3 songs that are about Judit Polgar's games. One is, the 3 of them are tangos in Spanish, but with lyrics that are changed to chess stories that tell all about her game against Vichy Anand that she won. A beautiful game, the last game of the tournament in '93 against Spassky, which she drew, but she won that match. And also the famous game that she lost against Kasparov, having a drawing position. And it's very interesting to adapt, only just everything that happens on a game, like you do, Pepe, when you tell all about the chess game that you're analyzing, like if it was like a football game or something, like really transmitting all the passion and all the events that are happening, like a really passionate story. So that was the challenge for that. I adapted the lyrics together of the original tangos with the Grandmaster Ruben Felgaer, that he's Argentinian, he's an Argentinian champion and a good friend of mine. And we really had a lot of fun adapting those lyrics, but I cannot wait to show you these beautiful games by Judith, analyzed in a poetical, performatic way.
Wow.
So Chess Divas is coming. It's just starting.
Amazing. By the way, Juga, Maria from Chessable team, she wants to comment on your Russian. So Maria, you may speak now.
Hello,
Oh my God.
everyone. Yes, I am from Russia. Yeah, your song is wonderful, and you actually sang that song very wonderfully. Even like noticeable accent is like almost not there. Yeah, very well. Very well done.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Spasiba. I really look forward to learn Russian, because I just repeated, Alexandra Kostenyuk, she wrote the lyrics for me, and I asked her to send me an audio with her singing the song so I could learn it by heart, like just memorize it. And I asked a Russian friend to help me to pronunciate the best way as possible. And I really, really, really made so many rehearsals to get it right. And I'm so happy that you appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great effort. It sounds wonderful, really. Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Okay, so Sylvia, you have another question, right?
Yes, we do. We have many questions here left for our guests, and the next one is for Judith. Judith, how did you manage to remain in the absolute elite for so many years in a world dominated by men?
Well, I think it's not matter of whether they were men or no. When you are in your profession, I think you have to renew yourself time to time. You have to put new goals and new challenges to yourself in order to maintain on where you are or even improve. I always loved the game very much, and I think that gave me a lot of energy whenever I played a beautiful game or I saw some artistic element in chess. I love studies. And of course, it was not easy to balance between opening preparation, middle game, and also when I had already a family, of course, combining it was more challenging. But it was something that I think I started to become professional at a teenage year. And that's why for me it was very natural always to fight back and fight more for new challenges. And I love the game very much. So I think that helped me also a lot.
Okay. Very interesting. So next question goes for Judith as well. So what was your first thought when you beat Kasparov?
Everybody thinks that that's the game of my life against Kasparov, but I have to tell you that that was not the game. Objectively and professionally, my most memorable games were a year earlier in Linares, where I played with the white and black pieces, because that's where I found out what is the strategy against Kasparov. I had made 2 draws there. And when I went against him, from one point of view, I understood exactly that the world got an earthquake, kind of, that, wow, Judith beat Kasparov. But from professional point of view, it was much more valuable for me, the Linares game. I thought that Kasparov simply chose the wrong opening. And that's why I beat him at the same time he beat himself in a way. So I was obviously very proud and very happy. But because he chose this Berlin opening, not his style at all, I didn't feel the full satisfaction of a victory, I must say. It was more for the public and the media who really hyped it up, and obviously I understood. But as I treasure the beauty of chess and the quality, from this point of view, I had mixed feelings.
Okay, so you said one of your most important moments in your chess career was in Linares. I am actually from Granada. It's just 1 hour by car from there. So did you like Linares, or did you visit Granada?
I was in Granada when at some point just for a day, and it was very beautiful. But well, Linares, I guess, is not exactly the place for touristic purposes.
I know. Yeah.
But it was a place where I definitely wanted to visit from a teenage year, for the reason because it was the chess tournament of the year at the time.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
right.
I've been to Linares, and I can confirm that.
They have good tapas, but
they do have good tapas, and terrible heat also.
Right, yeah, for 45 degrees, it's too much. Yeah, in summer you can't go to the street. You can fry an egg in the street. Yeah.
Yeah. And we always got to play in the summer.
Right.
Well, we didn't. We played in February, which was quite okay.
So you didn't get to experience that. You were lucky from that point of view, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. Well, this is a question for both of you. What do you think that especially women can bring to chess that others perhaps cannot?
Should I go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what women can bring into chess, more than in the technical and style of playing, I think what women are bringing into chess is kind of a sisterhood. I really believe in the community, the chess women community, how it has grown in the last years, how women have been really supporting women and empowering each other and opening each other's doors and collaboration, and in making sure that the other ones feel that they are growing too, and that they are feeling heard and feeling they have a space and an important place in the women chess community, in all the chess community. I think it's very beautiful, and I have felt very supported by women in chess, and it has been very empowering for me, and it has brought me a lot of self-confidence to feel part of this. So I think that women really see each other and listen to each other and are worried about the other more than men, probably. I don't like to generalize, because I feel that also men are being more and more generous and integrating also women. So I feel that it's getting better,
Very inspiring. Yeah. I like the sisterhood in chess also. I agree with you.
Very beautiful.
Yeah. Judith, what do you think?
I think generally in tournaments where there are ladies, for example, in Gibraltar, it's a good example, I think, where there are much more fun in the event. And the atmosphere is much more loose, more laughing and so on. At the same time, I would like to see more girls taking chess on the board more seriously, not only as a game, but seeing it as their profession. Because that's why I think the mistakes also come on a lower level this way. But generally, I think the atmosphere is just simply much better in a tournament with the girl competitors.
Girls can have more fun.
All right. Okay, this will be my last question. So for both of you as well. So what can chess bring? What can chess bring women, for example, that a sport like football cannot? Tough question.
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
The question is the following. What can chess bring women For example, that a sport, yeah. For example, that a sport like football cannot.
Maybe Ellen Nielsen, who she's the one who sent us this question.
Yeah.
I think she can tell us a bit more about what she meant and explain better the question than we can. So Ellen, please.
Hi. Yes. Firstly, I hope I'm not being rude or anything, but I just want to show you. This is my student Sarah, and you can't see it very well, but she drew a picture of you, Judith.
Oh, yeah.
Because I teach her about you, and she also she has your first book that I'm going through with her, and then she has this big chessboard that she uses when I'm not there. And she just won the Danish championship under 10 for both boys and girls. So I'm of course very proud. So thank you for everything, of course. The question was meant in the way that women, they can bring a lot in, or women, they can gain a lot from a sport like football. But what can women gain from chess, which is different? Like when you do football, of course, you can have a very nice time with the friends you get, and you get in better physical shape. But what can women gain from playing chess that they cannot gain anywhere else in the world? So what are some of the reasons that women, they should also take up chess?
Well, maybe I answer first this time. Well, I think chess generally can be very educational, and if you learn it very systematically, it can be also something good for self-learning. That how do you behave, how do you think, to understand yourself better. And also, if you play on the same level as you are, then also if you're focusing, you can gain self-confidence in improving and so on. And I think generally with all the logical skills and decision making, it's also something very important you can learn in chess. But I also want to make a difference between chess itself, what it improves, and also what improves competitive chess, obviously, because when you compete, you learn a lot of things like how to handle loss, how to handle victory. You understand your preparation, how does it affect your play. So generally, obviously, I'm a big fan chess in education. But definitely, I always ask parents and coaches that please don't limit girls with the feedback that you can become ladies world champion. But I really ask everybody to motivate the kids, girls, to reach and become the best version of themselves, not what they want to limit them, because I think that can be a serious problem by parents and coaches also. So this is my goal to achieve, that really, whether it's a girl talent or a boy talent, you should be expecting them to reach the best they can. And I think chess is a great sport, great game to challenge yourself and your abilities as well.
Yes, I agree totally, Judith, with everything you said. Maybe I can add some few thoughts. I think that chess, in a competitive manner and also in an educational or just for fun, any way that you practice chess can bring you the capacity of decision making against time, taking decisions, being self-confident and just trusting your guts, because many times there is no time to think everything and calculate everything. So you just have to go for what you believe. You have to believe in yourself, and I think that's very important in chess and in life. So I think that can be very useful. And also, I think that chess keeps you in a state that you have to be prepared for any change, because you make your plan, but you have to adapt your plan constantly in a creative way and in a solution, coming with solutions all the time and rearranging your plan. So you have to be in a creative and alert state all the time. And I think that's really good for life and for any other area of life.
Great.
So many benefits from chess.
Okay, last question, right, Raluca?
Last question, and this was actually a question that I sent, and it was a curiosity of mine. Judith, how did you feel when you won your first game against a top grandmaster player over 2700? And I asked you this because I think in such games where you feel that you are winning against a much stronger player, many people can get nervous. How did you handle that? How did you feel?
Well, first I remember the grandmaster I beat for the first time. I was 11 years old. That was something very special. It was in Brussels, I think. It was Gutmann. And I think the reason is also that I felt very proud of myself because nobody expected me to do so, first of all. Secondly, it was a very complicated attacking game where obviously both of us made mistakes and it was ups and downs, but somehow I outcalculated my opponent, and at the end, in his time trouble, he made the last mistake. So that was something very memorable for me. And I don't remember exactly who was the first 27 player, but another great memory, which is very warm in my heart, I remember, is really the match with Boris Spassky, and he was the first world champion I beat in 93 when I was 16 and a half. And that again was really great joy. But I think again, because the game itself was also very nice and very good quality game. So I outplayed him. So it was not a blunder by him. It was not an easy game. It was a long game, and it was a 5-6 hours game. And actually that's what gives me real joy, when I really have a great fight and then it shows I can prove it that I'm better. I calculated better. I played better. My perseverance was better, or I was focusing better, but it didn't come easy at all.
Did you get nervous at any point?
I think being nervous and it is something natural. And actually, I can say that if you're not nervous or you're not worried or your heart doesn't beat faster at some points of the game, it means you don't care. If you care, obviously, you're going to have moments and seconds where you're worried, you're excited. But obviously, it's also better if you don't show it during the game, that if you blundered something or you missed something. But it's very clear that you can get very excited at some point of the game. But also, it's part of chess that even if you have a winning position, you have to stay calm and focused and control yourself, because you may easily ruin your winning position. So this is also something I've learned from a very young age, that no matter how winning you are, you still have to be focused, calculating, paying attention, because you never know where you can go wrong. And actually, that's how I saved quite a few of my games, that my opponent was taking it easy and was not paying attention so much already. So you have to play until the last moment, being very focused.
Yeah, so many games have been lost like that. Good. It's a great life lesson. Thank you very much, Judith.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this has been a great day for chess community to have both of you here. It's been so inspiring for a lot of women and for a lot of people. And you are extremely busy all the time, so we don't want to take more time from you. And thanks a lot. We really appreciate. Everybody appreciates that you were here, and hope to see you very soon, both of you, in another show.
Thank you very much. For all the best for everybody.
Thank you, Judith.
Yes.
Okay, take care, yeah?
Thank you, Raluca. Thank you, Pepe.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Huga. Hope to see you sometime soon.
Thank you so much for this invitation. All the best for all the women there. Stay strong.
Okay, big hug, yeah? Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, so now the last round of the tournament has to be played, and still a lot in stake. And all right, so Chess24 was leading, if I'm not wrong. So this is round number 7 now, and
We will start in 3 minutes, the next round. Okay? Everyone is ready? Because we finished before.
So the next round will start in 3 minutes.
Yes, we have some time to look at the pairings, to look at
the standings. So Chess24 is leading. Vane? Okay. All right.
Yes.
So we just pause the broadcast for 1 minute, guys, and then we'll be back. Back in the last round. We are back in the last round where chess24 is facing Chessel 1 and one of the most important games, Jennifer Perez versus Alina. Raluca.
Who is leading? Who is leading? That's something I want to know, Pepe.
Chess24 is leading with 15 points and 11 for coaches 2. So that means that Chess24 already won the tournament. And let's see if they can finish with a perfect score. And Jenny has the black pieces here, but Alina has a very good position facing an isolated pawn structure. As you can see here.
Again, the type of position that she likes, I think. Very tactical positions, attacking ideas.
Look at these two bishops. They're extremely dangerous for black here, targeting h7 and g7 after queen c2, h7 is under attack, so black has to do something. Maybe g6, h6, but you never want to weaken this diagonal,
no,
right?
You don't. No, you don't. But still, you have to do something. h6 looks like the natural way to go, right?
Yeah, looks natural, but the thing is that now you cannot go back to h5 because of g4. So she took on e2, and queen takes d4.
Yes, but I think now the bishops, our beloved bishops. What if I play bishop c2 is actually something that I wanted to do for a long time. Okay. Now knight e5.
F4. Now I think you're forced to take on d3, and d4 is under attack. So how to protect that pawn on d4 is not.
Maybe queen e7.
Queen e7. You target the e4 pawn, and then you're ready to go rook g8. She didn't.
That was I was hoping for. Yeah, she's looking for activity. I guess she wants to. Okay, e4 is still hanging. Yeah.
Okay, rook e4, and I believe black is the one putting pressure in this position because you got more active rooks. And this rook is on the 7th rank after the trades, and then this rook is very passive on a1. So definitely
rook d1.
Black is putting pressure here.
Maybe we get there. Rook d7.
Intending rook d7. Not so easy to stop this idea. So rook a2, rook d8, followed by bishop d6 just wins, yeah? This just wins. There's no way to stop bishop d6 in this position.
And rook takes a fade, wins a piece, and black doesn't even get too many pawns, just one pawn on a3. And it's over.
It's over. I think you cannot do anything. Rook a3, bishop d6. Then you just collect the f8 bishop, and then you are protecting the b4 pawn with that dark squared bishop. So black has to resign in this position already.
Yeah, I think Alina is winning here. Maybe we can take a look at a different game.
Sure.
What else do we have? What interesting? What is going on here? Okay.
Florencia Fernandez versus woman FIDE master Kidman. This is a crazy position. I think this comes.
Look at those rooks.
Yeah, I think this comes from a dragon, right? This looks like a dragon defense. Rook a5 attacking the knight, and rook a8. Now, how do you protect the a4 pawn? There's no way.
Good question. What do I have to do here? No way. Well, d5 is hanging, Pepe.
Right.
Can we grab that? Oh, rook a5, rook a1. What is happening here?
Yeah, this is very crazy. I don't know. E takes e5, rook takes a4. Maybe you can block with knight a3, stopping rook a1.
Ah, prophylaxis.
Yeah, prophylaxis. Otherwise, rook a1 followed by something on d5.
But still, this is very difficult for white, isn't it?
You can take on b2, I believe, with the bishop, and then rook a3, but she didn't go for this. Only 40 seconds for each player in this position. Queen c7. And you got this d6 move. Intend to go queen e6. She didn't go for it.
Does she want rook a3?
Probably rook a3 followed by queen a1, rook d8. What's going on here? This
maybe
is crazy.
that's nothing, but
probably it's nothing.
Probably nothing, yeah.
So maybe another idea is to go queen a5, and then bishop b2 becomes a real threat in this position.
So you still oh
wow,
you can do that directly, yeah. You don't need queen a5.
You can do this.
But then the e6
I'm not so sure. Yeah, but I'm not so sure about this endgame because the e7 pawn is just falling, and then the e6 pawn is extremely dangerous here.
Is she getting? Wait, rook e6. Oh, but
well, I think
F8?
I don't know what's going on here. Only 13 seconds for Florencia.
Okay, this looks at least a draw.
Yeah, this looks like a perpetual, but Florencia wants to go for the win. So brave here with the black pieces. What is she doing? She's going crazy. She wants to flag her.
The bishop.
It's hanging. She takes the bishop. She takes the pawn. She takes everything. And but only 7 seconds for Florencia. Yeah. Now she trades rooks. 5 seconds. She has to collect all the pawns in order not to lose some time. Now she's taking the
she will
H pawn, and finally the F pawn, and now pushing B5, B4, B3,
and
B2,
she will
B1.
win this, or not?
Well, only 1 second. Only 1 second, Sylvia.
What a roller coaster here.
We're a crazy game.
Crazy game, yes.
Let me check what happened in the rest of the games. I think this is finished. And
I think everything has finished, Pepe.
Games are finished. And maybe we can join the Chess24 team, Raluca, to talk with some of them. And let's go there. Maybe just 30 seconds of pause so we can change the call. This is a bit tricky, as you guys can see. But
we'll be right back with the winners.
Yeah.
Yes.
A ver si veo el Zoom. Great event, and first of all, I'd like to congratulate to the winners, the team of Chess24, composed by Jennifer, Florencia, Lily, Julia, Alboredo. You want to say maybe a few words after your victory? Maybe Florencia? I want to see your English, Florencia.
No, Pepe no sé hablar inglés.
Go, Flor, go.
Okay, maybe Jennifer or Lily, you want to say a few words?
I don't speak English.
Okay, Lily, you speak English, yeah? You cannot speak.
A bit, yeah. Well, I think all the girls are very happy, and we are all happy to participate and to win. But, well, I think we all enjoyed today. It was a pleasure to have Judit and Juga here. Thank you, Raluca and Pepe, for covering the event. And, well, thank you all the girls, because as Juga said, the community, the women community is something amazing. And, well, I hope to see more events like this.
Okay, I have a question for the coaches teams. Yeah, how is it possible that coaches 2 ends up, second, and coaches 1 third? So how is this possible? Yeah.
I don't know if it was made on a rating basis, Pepe.
So let's talk with somebody from coaches too. For example, Jesse February. How are you, Jesse?
Well done, guys.
I'm doing well. Thanks. I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Okay, how was the tournament?
It was a lot of fun. I did not expect for it to be so challenging, but to be honest, my competition was rough. I think I scored half a point out of the entire tournament. So I will walk away with a smile on my face, actually.
But you played really well. We were watching a game of yours, and I don't remember which one, Pepe, because we saw so many and everything moved so fast. But we saw a game where Jesse was completely winning, I think, and then something happened in time scramble.
I think I lost a number of those games on time, actually. Yeah, 3-0 is not my forte.
It's tough.
Yes. But it's nice to see the members in my team. They did really well as well. And I was watching some of their streams in the background, at least when I wasn't playing. So I like that.
I thought you did well, sweetie.
Oh, thank you, Ellen.
Can I just congratulate Sophie as well, who showed a great fighting spirit in today's matches. Sophie, well done. We saw a few of your games, very tactical and sharp everywhere.
Good coach.
That's very nice of you to say.
I mean it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and finally, let's talk. We talk with somebody from Chess24 from Coaches. We need somebody from Chessable, maybe from Chessable. Sorry for my pronunciation. Maybe Matilde. Matilde, you're still here in the call? Long time no see you. Matilde left, yeah? I know she's here. Matilde, come on. How are you? No, I cannot hear you. I think your microphone is not working. Ça va bien? Okay, we cannot hear Matilde, so maybe somebody else from Chessable.
Alina, maybe?
Alina, yeah?
Hello there. Hi, everyone. Very nice to be here.
What inspiring background, Alina.
Yeah, well, I chose it especially for today because it's one of my favorite painters. It's Van Gogh. And I thought, it's Women's Day, flowers, maybe it's appropriate.
Very appropriate.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough day in the office. I mean, we really tried our best, but sometimes the mouse didn't listen, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and one last question for Maria Rodrigo, psychologist, almost finishing her PhD. Congratulations. We saw a video of you walking in the street, dressing up like the Queen's Gambit actress, right? In Madrid. How was that experience? It was a lot of fun, I guess.
Te puedo responder en español.
Okay, you can talk to me in Spanish, I'll translate, yeah.
I'm a little tired. Fue una iniciativa del Club de Ajedrez con Cabeza, y lo que queríamos era reivindicar el papel de la mujer en la sociedad y decidieron vestirme de Beth Hartman por el empoderamiento que tenía la mujer, y la idea fue sacar 5 tableros a la calle y estuve realizando simultáneas pues con todos los transeúntes que pasaban por allí, y fue espectacular porque estuve 2 horas y media, 3, y no dejaban de pasar gente. Okay. Y animándose de todas las edades. La verdad que tuvo muy, muy buena acogida.
Okay, so she was dressed up as Beth Hartman, right? In the streets of Madrid.
En una calle céntrica de Madrid.
In the downtown, Fuencarral Street. Okay, very nice. All right, so I would love to speak with everybody of you, but I think we're too many people, right? I think the event has to finish, and thanks a lot. I think this is great for women chess. I think we need more events like this, and I'm sure people have enjoyed a lot with your games, and also with the presence of Judit and Huga. And I mean, I never had such a nice company in my life. So, so it was a real pleasure, and hope to see you very soon.
Thank you guys very much. And thank you, Pepe, for being a great.
Thank you, Silva. Thanks, everybody. Yeah. Take care.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, girls. Bye.
And thank you, everybody, for joining our stream.
Yeah. See you guys. Take care. You drink, don't drive.
Always good advice from Pepe.
Ok, Silvia, nos vemos.
¿Ya estamos?